OffBeat Sports Podcast presented by Celsius.
It's been a tale of two seasons for the Boston Celtics.
I probably aged about 10 years just from that series.
I'd probably compare myself to just a younger, smarter, more handsome, stronger Michael Jordan.
Let's go Celtics. Go Patriots.
These are guys who, when you give them a bowl of Cheerios in the morning, they finish every last drop of milk.
Absolute clown over here.
I'm ready when you are, baby.
All right, everybody. Welcome back to the OffBeat Sports Podcast presented by... We're continuing our interview series called OffBeat University, where we interview Division I college athletes, both male and female, from many different sports to get the full perspective into the lives of our student athletes. Today, we're joined by Cameron Alves, wide receiver for the Stonehill college football team. Thanks for joining us, Cam. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me. Pleasure.
So how do you feel about Stonehill step up to Division I? You're a couple games into the season. You've just played your first Division I game. How do you feel about that transition from the NE10 to the NEC?
Day by day, I just get excited about it. When it first came out, I wouldn't say I was nervous, but I was kind of just like, took a step back and was kind of thinking, how are we going to adjust to this? Because we came off a pretty successful season in the NE10. The seniors, when they started, that graduated last year, they started 2-8. We finished last year at 8-2. So we really flipped the script as far as the program, and we were kind of set for a successful trend. So when we made that announcement, I was a little nervous as far as how the just culture in general is going to carry on. But what I can say now, just getting our feet wet a little bit in the division, and as far as making the jump, I'm excited to see what can happen. I feel like we've proved that we can hang. Obviously you got to lace them up every day and play football, and obviously it doesn't matter who you're playing. But I think that first win we had 2 weeks ago, and just going forward, I think it was a big confidence booster as far as we belong and we can compete.
Absolutely, dude. I played for 11 years, and I was a lineman, so different sides of the spectrum. But playing for 11 years, it's just like I loved it, loved playing every second of the day, and then I decided to trade it for this cool cat. But if I had to ask you one certain process during you looking from school to school, why did you end up choosing Stonehill? Was it just what was there, or what was right for you?
I got a weird recruitment story. I don't want to say kind of got shoved into Stonehill, but so I had going into when the signing day was approaching, I had offer from URI and Merrimack, and being from Rhode Island, I was I played public school football, so I kind of was dead set on going to URI, being the kid who came from public school football, just trying to show everybody that you can do it too, trying to be that vessel. So I was I had tunnel vision on. I really wasn't giving anybody else the time of day. And then I called URI to verbally commit, and they had given my offer away, and the same thing, Merrimack had called me and they had given my offer away too. So I was kind of oh shit, no, I'm scrambling. So I started scrambling, and then my parents kept pushing Stonewall on me, my cousins to come here. They're you'd love it, it's a great school. So I didn't want to hear it, coming from your parents, you don't want to hear anything they have to say growing up. So I didn't want to hear it. And then they pushed me to take a visit here that weekend before, and I took it, and I loved it. I didn't want to tell anybody. I loved everything about it. I was oh, it's going to cause some problems. And then the URI thing fell through. Signing day came literally 2-3 days after I took the visit, and I was let's do it. I got no other options here. Let's sign it. And I don't want it to sound like that, I was pushed into it that way, but it kind of was just the blessings in line, thankfully that was the path I took. So other than that, I think it has great things to offer for recruits and kids looking here.
Hey, it all worked out, and now you're playing D1.
Exactly. It came full circle, right? That was the beauty of it.
If anybody can talk on the whole pushing something onto you, my dad his whole life was sitting there telling me, you know what? I think you're going to be a military kid. You should be a military kid. I was Army. You'll love the military. I'm fuck you. No, I don't want to do that. And then I traded it for this cool hat again. So
and
it all comes full circle. So
you like that hat, Harry?
Thinking about it, not anymore, no, but it's a cool hat, though.
I like it. I like that.
It's a cool hat.
So I saw in high school you played quarterback and defensive back. So was it difficult to transition to the wide receiver position at the college level?
Yeah, it definitely was. I kind of had I don't want to say an easier transition, but I realized it quicker because I knew, and all through high school I was all right, I'm not a quarterback. I'm 5'9" on an excellent day, and that's not a the makeup of a college quarterback. So I kind of knew it was I knew that day was coming going throughout high school. So I kind of like would just like whenever we were going to work out in the off season with like my buddies, like I was kind of just playing with different positions, screwing around, just trying to get a feel for everything. So when I got recruited, they recruited me as a wide receiver. So then I really got to start, kind of making the transition. And, like everything when you're young, you thought you had to figure it out and you thought you're going to be doing all right. But I mean, there's a lot of details and a lot of just different ways of looking at the game as opposed to playing quarterback that I kind of like learned the hard way a little bit. And I mean, I'm happy I did it when I was young because now I'm starting to realize everything in the game, just kind of be able to, it's becoming more and more less stressful, lining up. I'm just playing now instead of like, oh, I'm a quarterback who transitioned now. I can finally be like, oh no, I'm a wide receiver.
That's an interesting aspect because like I've never, I mean, I get like playing both sides of the ball and everything, but I've never really played anything other than lineman. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I was an offensive lineman and then I was a defensive lineman. Like one of them's you push guys, one of them's you throw guys. You kind of get used to doing one thing for so long. So having to absolutely adapt and change your game style to play one thing, I mean, that's huge. And honestly, I mean, that kind of leads into my question. It's like since like you're opening up with this new world of like how you're playing football, how does that tie into like playing for Stonehill? Like what would you consider your favorite part about being over there?
I think I don't want to call it playing from the background, but like, being quarterback, obviously, all eyes are on you. You're controlling the offense and it's like you're making a lot of crucial decisions. And not to say like I didn't enjoy the pressure, but it's nice to be like to have that mindset of being a quarterback built in you and like playing football like that, but also being one of like the other guys, I guess you could say. So like I can take my background and my approach from like a position that is less important, I guess you want to say. I mean, like obviously I'm not calling the shots, but I see the game from the quarterback eye, like out on the perimeter, and that like I just think the anticipation of that and kind of like the flow of the game, that's like it gives me like a nice angle as far as like what to expect and like the different coverages I'm looking at and things like that. So that's something I definitely took, and I'm enjoying seeing it from that angle as a wide receiver.
Yeah, you get to kind of like bring where you should be and where you would want to be if you were playing quarterback there. So you're a few games into the season now. As I said, you got you're 3-0. You got your first Division I win. What are your expectations heading into more conference play and more Division I games as the season progresses? What are your expectations for your team and for you personally?
As a team, I mean, I think we're expecting a lot of dogfights. You know what I mean? I think our success is going to come off of how physically play pretty much. I think we have a pretty physical team, and I was kind of not nervous, but I was kind of like just like wondering how we're going to field our first Division I game out and if we're going to bring it and things like that. And I feel like we got the guys in the locker room in the program to we don't step away from anything. We tie them up and play against anybody. So I think that us being physical and kind of just matching the athletes and allowing that to be able to for us to just run our scheme and do what we want to do. I mean, I think that's something that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing, a lot of different levels of athletes and football, as a jump from the NE10. I think that it's an exciting future, obviously this fall, but, going forward for us and for Stonehill. And then personally, I'm excited to just, as like the higher you go in football, obviously the more spread out the game has to become. Like the more throws involved, the more like perimeter blocking and like one-on-one matchups you have. So I mean, I think that's a cool opportunity for me personally, and like for guys on the perimeter, like you're going to get a lot more shots as far as, hey, your one-on-one matchups, whether you're throwing the ball or like you got a block guy on the perimeter, you're running the ball. I think that it creates for a lot more football play opportunities where it's, I mean, who would want that? So I'm really excited in both ways, team wise and individually.
100%, because like playing at the college level is probably got to be one of the most exciting things you can do. And this is definitely one of those stages of your life where like you are like probably, I mean, obviously I can't go assume for you, but you're probably at like one of your peak happiness just because you're doing what you love. But I'm sure you hear it all the time, and everybody always talks about it. It's always the first thing that they say. You're a student before you're a player. And I gotta ask, like, how is that with the whole Stonehill process of you playing? Like, has it been hard adapting to the student athlete lifestyle of always on the field and then coming off and having to do 8 pages of an essay?
Honestly, I've gotten that question a lot. There hasn't been like a big change because we ran our program pretty much like a Division I program, as far as in-season stuff with practices, lifts, treatment, out-of-season stuff with workouts, spring ball, things like that. So our class load and our time blocks were already set where you have you got to get something done throughout the day. Like you have 2.5, 3 hours during the day. Like you can either go take a nap and sit around and do nothing, and then hey, you're gonna have to eat those consequences, or like you got to get it done. Yeah. So I mean, that as far as like the workload hasn't changed really. I mean, we still have those time blocks to be able to get it done. It's just more or less of like in my free time, I guess you could say, like when I'm like, just like writing a paper, like doing an assignment, like instead of just being in my room or kind of like hanging out in my dorm, I do it in the facility where I'm like getting in between, like getting treatment times, or like in between like watching some film with my coach. Like I kind of just keep myself there as much as I can, just so I'm not falling behind in anything, like with football, staying on top of everything while doing work.
That's huge.
Yeah, discipline, probably the biggest thing as a student athlete, I would have to guess. So one of the biggest things in college athletics from the last couple of years and currently is the new NIL rules. What are your thoughts on this, and do you plan to take advantage of these new rules?
I love it. I think it's good for college athletes to be able to, kind of make some money off of themselves. And not only that, but a lot of kids, like for example, like a lot of people, we're in the summer, like now, like so now we're Division I, right? In the summer, we're gonna have to be here. And we're gonna have to be here either, just doing training stuff, nothing, just getting ready for camp, things like that, which normal Division I programs do. But that's usually your time as a college kid to, work and make some money like for the semester. So I think it's good for college kids who, literally are year round with their sport, like to be able to make some money for them to be able to spend on food or clothes or just whatever in general. I actually do have a deal with my buddy Pete Perella from back home. He owns you ever heard of Soggy's?
No, what is it?
So it's a hot dog company, and he owns a couple trucks. And when it first came out, we were golfing one day, and he's like, dude, you want me to make you like the first Soggy athlete? I was like, dude, hell yeah. I was like, that'd be awesome.
That's a sick name. The Soggy athlete.
Soggy athlete. I was like, this is great. So he gives me a bunch of hot dogs, like my mom, like for the tailgates, like he'll drop off a bag of hot dogs for everybody to grill up, and they pass around the tailgates. And then I just, it gives me a bunch of merch to wear around. So he's my buddy. I help him out. He helps me out. I love it. I mean, I support the brand anyway. So
it must be tough trying to juggle the weight of being a Soggy ambassador along with the football side of things.
It's a grind.
So now I know. So now I know.
Wait,
for these tailgates.
I think I got the hat. It's over here somewhere.
So now I know for these tailgates, I gotta find your mom.
Oh, I got all the gear.
Whose hat's cooler? Come on.
I can't find it.
If hat was a little soggy, it would probably be pretty cool too.
Wait, so now I know at the tailgates I gotta go find your mom for a nice hot dog.
Yeah, you gotta. I
gotta get myself a soggy hot dog.
That'll be the best hot dog you ever eat. I guarantee. I'll put money down on it. Not just saying that because I'm part of the brand, but I guarantee it.
So transitioning from that, who would you say has probably impacted you the most on and off the field in your football career?
Oh, it's my dad. That's an easy question. My dad, he's pretty much made my career. I mean, he's coached football for almost 40, coming up on 40 years now. And when he had me, he gave up coaching high school and college to just kind of like come up with my friends and I and like guide us up and coach us through Little League and Pop Warner. And then he actually was an assistant on my high school staff, kind of just guiding us through. And he kind of, he just set the tone for everything as far as my football career. He taught me, mentally, physically, everything I need to know. And he's just someone that, taught me how to do it the right way and taught me the game the right way. And it's not like cliche to say it that way, but I mean, like, growing up, like classic, your dad's the coach and kid's the quarterback, right? You're like, oh, look at this. Like, look at this combo, classic.
I was just about to say,
Yeah.
I was just about to say, your dad growing you up was like, all right, yeah, big time quarterback. And then you got
Yeah.
16. You're like, all right, you might not be growing a little bit more. So we got to bump you back down to the wide receiver spot.
He told me at 6 years old, he was like, you'll play quarterback because you know the game better than everybody else growing up. He's like, but you're never going to play college quarterback. That's how my career started. I was like, all right, off the jump. I understand it. I know. But if you came to any practice at any age, 5 years old or 18 years old, and you watched him coach and just tried to pick out who his kid was, you would never be able to tell it was me. You know what I mean? He treated me just like I was another player. And for that, I mean, I think that, that put me in a great place. I wasn't coddled or anything like that. So it's funny when I start telling that story, everyone's like, oh, look at this classic QB, dad's a coach combo. I'm like, no, he really taught me the game the right way. And, I owe him a lot. And I kind of just play for him, I guess you could say. I try and make him proud. I try and just be better than he was. That's kind of the driving factor. You always want to be better than your old man. So I'm trying to do that every game going forward. So I do owe him a lot of credit.
Yeah, you need those bragging rights.
Absolutely. Dinner will never be the same. I gotta one up him.
You're gonna drop that soggy insult on top of him. You're like, hey, Dad, Pete.
You don't have one of these.
So I mean, if I look back into my prime of my football years, growing up, I was a little animal. I was probably like the love child between like J.J. Watt and T.J. Just like the complete perfect blend of both of them. Just absolutely unstoppable on the field. Maybe a little Aaron Donald sprinkled in there with some Tyreek Hill speed. I was just an animal. Absolute beast. Couldn't stop me. I was a dual threat. But if I had to ask you if you were to compare your game and how you play to somebody out there, I mean, I have, just from what you were talking about, somebody that I think I'd probably compare you to.
I'm gonna just stop you to say, who do you think?
Julian Edelman.
Yeah, next question. Yeah. That guy. Yeah.
I was gonna say, from this whole story I've been picking up off you, I feel like this question is kind of lackluster in the end because I already know what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
started as a quarterback, became a wide receiver, undersized.
Wanted to be that guy ever since I knew what his name was. That's been my guy forever.
It's on his Stonehill profile. I mean, Harry doesn't do the research. I do the research for him and then prep him. But
just shoot my information, my flaws and my insecurities out there across it. Harry doesn't do shit, but I just tell him what to say.
Hey, it works though. But no, yeah, it said it on your when I said your favorite player was Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
I was like, I bet it's gonna be that when I wrote the question, but I was like, we'll ask it anyway. Harry will come up with something stupid to say.
I got like his shirt. I got his shirt I wear every like game day. It's like underneath my travel gear, like wearing it around all day. I think obvious. I mean, the story I just told you guys, I mean, I think he is the perfect guy to try and, emulate. This guy who kind of did the same thing, he's probably the top tier one to look at if you're trying to be, good in this game, and you had to go through that path too. So, I mean, I think he played for the Patriots. You can't beat that. So, I mean, there's really no other guy you'd really want to be coming from my position.
Two quick fun facts. Julian Edelman is also my favorite football player of all time.
That's
growing up watching
not
him,
mine.
I didn't ask. Growing up watching him, it was the stuff he did, and it was crazy because every single time, like, it would always be like once a season, twice a season, once in the playoffs, once in the Super Bowl. It'd always be like watching this kid grow up. Was a wide receiver in college, or was a quarterback in high school, and here he is doing the crazy things on the line, and watching him just made me love the game a little bit more. And then a quick fun fact about the OffBeat stack, how Cross said he wrote that question. Cross gives me like 3 words to ask and then says, figure it out after.
I give him the basis of the question, and then he runs
with
it.
He's like, I have what I need you to finish it with, but do whatever you want to get there. So that's that's a wonderful relationship.
He's gonna do that. He's gonna do it either way. So I mean, might as well give him a big. Yeah. I mean, for my favorite players, I've always picked like probably the most random player I can like for actually for probably Celtics too, but Patriots
Is he a New England Patriot?
especially. Yeah, well, right now, I don't even know who my favorite would be right now, but
All time. I'm talking all time. He's a
Oh,
Patriot.
all time he's not
My-
a Patriot. All time it's
My-
Calvin Johnson.
My
All right,
second
yeah.
favorite all time.
No, but for
My
Patriots, whenever we're like, I'm thinking Patriots. Like one time it was like at one point it was Danny Amendola.
Yeah.
At one point it was Brandon Lloyd.
Brandon Lloyd.
I have a Brandon Lloyd jersey. So you can imagine how random that is. I was always obviously a Brady guy, but like for some reason I always pick out like random players and really like just get into it. Like the Celtics. For like since he was drafted, Marcus Smart has been my favorite player, and like
Marcus Smart's literally the
But, like,
heart of the franchise.
yeah,
He's the man.
but he was like random in the beginning, and I was just like, I like this guy, and then it's worked out. So because it's turned out to be a pretty good,
It's a good pick.
yeah, but I always pick a random guy, but I do Edelman's probably one of, up there for me.
Yeah,
I don't know who my favorite Patriot of all time would be. That's a good question.
Growing
I
up,
don't
being a Patriots fan, we were the king of the world. So we had to like be like, oh, I like this team too, so I want to watch them do good when I know we're going to be in the Super Bowl. So my separate team that I was in love with was the Bengals, and
all right, that's a good pick.
I picked one player, and it was Mohamed Sanu Jr. And I would or Mohamed Sanu Senior, Junior, something like that. I think it's Senior, but I would watch him alongside with AJ Green. He was always undershadowed, but like he would play great. And then he got traded to the Falcons, and I'm like, this is it. Falcons going to the Super Bowl this year. I got a Falcons Sanu jersey, and the Falcons went to the Super Bowl that year. So I was the only one at my entire country club wearing a Falcons jersey during the Super Bowl. We left at halftime 28-3. My family was pissed at me. And then we watched we watched the end of the game, and I'm just sitting there. I'm like,
and then he came to the Patriots and he sucked.
Yeah, he came to the Patriots, and I'm like, it came full circle.
We traded him. We traded for him with a second round pick, and he sucked.
Got rid of him quick. He was older though.
Yeah. But we've kind of already gotten into Patriots, but currently, I mean, you see the Zappy hour and Zappy fever is setting in. What do you think? Do you think there's going to be a QB battle?
No, it's like no. I don't know. No, you can't. Mac Jones first. No, damn, that's a tough question. Actually, all right. You want it to be. You kind of want it to be because you saw the way Zappy played, but at the same time, it's like I think Mac Jones is the franchise. He's the franchise. Think about it. He's coming off the rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
You got to give. I think you still got to give him a couple seasons to see what he's got.
Yeah, my thing is, I mean, as I'm sure, like what I'm saying is probably what everyone was saying with the whole Brady, Drew Bledsoe thing. But like, I don't even think it'll be a competition. I mean, they've shortened the playbook for Zappy, and that's why he looks so good. Which I think they should shorten the playbook for Mac Jones with a few more extended plays. But like, if it works, do it. I mean, but like,
exactly.
I don't even think it's gonna be a competition. I think Mac Jones is more talented. But like,
when Mac comes back, I feel like it'll kind of be like. I feel like it'll kind of be like, just like water under the bridge, you know? Because I mean, you got to look at it like Garoppolo played great, Brissett played great when they were both on backups,
exactly.
And that's kind of what's happening with.
It was with Brady though.
Yeah, it was with but that's what I'm saying. It's not one of those like Brady Bledsoes. It's one of those Brady Brissett's or Brady Garoppolo's. Well, I'd probably say Brady Garoppolo. I think Zappy. I think the way it's running, I think Zappy's going to play pretty great with us. And then if anything, we trade him away and we get to watch him play great. You know,
they're pretty similar quarterbacks. I mean, for us,
they are.
For the Patriots to be successful this year,
they look
no matter
exactly
what,
the same too.
The defense has to play lights out, and we got to run the absolute hell out of the ball. So we kind of just need like a nice both of them bring good. Like
doing that great.
They bring
Ramondre Stevenson is doing that great.
Yeah,
they're good game management quarterbacks, good with the flow, you know, make some good passes. We're not like really stretching the ball down the field like back in the day Brady was.
Some play action stuff.
Yeah.
But like, and my thing is, again, like this is probably all stuff people were saying in what was it, 2000, 2001 or whatever when Brady took over. So I mean, you never know. I doubt it.
Yeah.
But
it could be a good story.
But it could be one major injury for Mac Jones for that to happen. Like, I don't think it'll happen right now, but like Mac could like God forbid snap his leg next week when he comes back, and then we're set in with Zappy and we have to work with it, and he could play fantastic. We don't know. So
didn't this happen? This happened with Bledsoe too. Wasn't he out for only a couple games Brady's rookie year or second year? And then he came back.
Brady's,
I believe so.
It was his rookie year. It was his rookie year that Brady came in, and it was like week 2.
Bledsoe was games, right?
Yeah, no, Bledsoe was only out for 6 games, but they kept Brady in. They kept Brady in, and Brady played fantastic.
I think it could be more of a situation just like that where I don't know when Max. I don't know the reports about Max ankle when he's coming back, but Zappy plays a couple good weeks for us, and then God forbid something happens.
I would have to assume he's pretty motivated to get back as soon as possible. Right?
After he saw that, God,
yeah, he wants his job back. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. It's something fun to talk about because, like, I mean, with like a team like this where you get some good things, but like you need some kind of thing to bring up controversy to actually talk about. So I mean, it's a fun thing to talk about, but I mean, it probably won't turn into anything. But you never know.
I think in either way, we're in good hands. I mean, I think we got 2 good futures. With those
I think this is probably Hoyer's retirement party right here.
Yeah, it's got to be.
All in all, I'd say this has been a fantastic interview because it felt more like we were recording an episode about Patriots Talk Daily and just shooting the shit with the guys. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, but it was great to hear about the story coming up. It was great to hear about your backstory and how college is going for you. And we over at OffBeat truly do hope the best for your career going on forward.
Hey, thanks so much for having me. Really appreciate you guys reaching out. Love talking football. Love just chewing it with the guys.
We'll have to get him back on for an actual Patriots episode.
Oh yeah, no.
Sign me up. I'll do it. I'll come in. I'll show up.
Hey, we'll see how this week goes.
Absolutely.
So that's all we got. Thanks for everyone for watching and listening. Be sure to check us out on Instagram at @offbeat_sports and on TikTok at offbeat sports, and make sure you're on the lookout for the next installation of the OffBeat University series. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.